And welcome back, everybody. Silas here. Got that load unloaded. That was a 1961 or 2. I forget what year that truck was. F350. Pretty straight truck. I'll have to show it to you later. Does have a little bit of rust in the bottom end of it, but really it's not that bad, and it's got a really good color to it, all that good stuff. Plus he had some other farm equipment loaded, and then those old cars I showed you way out back briefly. That's going to be a separate video, but I bought a bunch of old cars that are going to be coming in soon. But right now what I'm doing, I just got the torch loaded up in my truck out here. Hopefully the rain holds off a little bit longer. It's supposed to be torrential rain this afternoon. They're saying extreme risk of tornadoes, high winds, thunderstorms, lightning, hail, all that good stuff. Nothing too serious, nothing that's going to stop me from working. I mean, I worked through tornadoes before. It's not the end of the world. But I've got those school buses. I need to get those cut up, so I just needed a torch out there. I've got some other farm equipment that needs cut up, so it's just going to be good to have a torch on location out there. In addition to that, I got in a whole bunch of Model T frames in the last video and some other parts, odds and end pieces. I need to go through all that and start processing that. Most of it is just going to get crushed. Model T frames don't have a whole lot of value unless they're the 1926 or 27 that have the stamp serial numbers on them, because those you can use to get a title for your vehicle. But the ones that don't have those numbers are pretty much worthless. Unless they're in nice condition, but none of these are in nice condition. But there are a few good pieces that we will pull out, but we will worry about that when we get there. Right now I need to hit the road. A guy called me and he said that he was at an auction and they pretty much gave away a whole pallet of hubcaps. He said to go grab them, pay whatever they're worth, so that's what we're gonna do first. Oh, that's nice. It's already starting to rain. If you remember, I bought these at the auction, here about a month ago. I can't remember how long ago it was. Just sold those on eBay. I gave 20 some dollars for that whole barrel, and I sold just these for $120, and they sold within like 15 minutes of putting them on eBay. So definitely a good return on that barrel. Also, I sold these as well. I don't remember what I gave for those. I bought those in a whole group of stuff, but I sold those for $100 on eBay over the weekend. And this is what we got. SS. Looks like a Mopar. GMC. What's this one? Rambler spinner. Hard telling what's in this pile, but I'm gonna load them all up in my truck real quick and hit the road and get to the yard. He scared me for a second. But he's harmless, or she, whatever it is. I don't know how to tell. That was its nest though, or something had a nest in there, and he was probably cleaning house and eating breakfast. But that right there makes 50 so far. There ended up being 138 hubcaps in that pile, plus a handful of beauty rings. I asked him what I owed him for them, and he said, oh, just give me 35 bucks. So I gave him 35 bucks for the whole pile. There was also about 30 pounds of clean #2 copper in that pile as well. So that'll more than pay for everything. Plus he had a whole bunch of batteries that he bought at the sale because there was no scrappers there, I guess. And so he said I could take those for what he gave for them. He said there was a whole bunch of iron, but he already shipped all that into the other scrapyard in town. They have dumpsters, so they just set a dumpster out there, and he loaded it all up with a skid steer, which is fine. I don't need to have iron. I'm not a big iron person. But yeah, that's 2 auctions where that Ford one-ton I bought earlier, that was an auction not far from here as well. And they had a little bit of scrap there as well, and it went dirt cheap, I guess. The guy that brought that truck and that farm equipment into me said that there was him and another scrapper there, and they were taking turns bidding on stuff, and the other scrapper got a skid steer for $100, and he drove an antique truck up on the trailer for $400, and he said it was just a crazy sale, but they were taking turns, so he couldn't interfere. But anyway, now I am headed to the yard. I want to check out all that Model T stuff a little bit better. It is starting to rain pretty good now, and it's supposed to get worse, so I don't know what we're going to get done today, but this video, it might take several days to film. Hopefully it dries up. We're shipping out a load of aluminum wheels. There's a bunch of super nice tires in here, but nobody ever wants to buy good tires anymore, and the thieves keep trying to steal them. Here's some of the Model T stuff we got. Like I say, it's pretty rough, been laying out in a pile on the ground for a long time. There is this one over here, does have the brackets for the headlights and the headlight buckets and all that on it still, so might hang on to that one. But all these over here, probably just gonna scrap them all. I mean, there's a few neat things like that wheel, but it takes quite a bit of effort to get those off when they're all rusty like that, and it's not worth that much money. So more than likely, looks like there might be a hubcap down there we'll save. A couple of these frames here might be Chevy, because I know he had some Chevy stuff too. There's a frame out front I know is Chevy. I'll show you here in a little bit. Yeah, I think this pile here, most of these are just going to get the squeeze. And you definitely want to stay tuned till later in the video, because I don't know when the last time you saw this old stuff getting crushed, but it's all going to be in this video going in that machine right there. Well, not all of it, like I say, some of it we'll keep, but all the stuff we're going to crush is going to be in this video. I don't see any serial numbers on these frames. That's what I'm looking for now. He said they're pretty obvious up on top of the frame, stamped pretty good, and I don't see them anywhere. Well, they are here to pick up the dumpster that's got that bus in it out back, so that'll be good to get that gone. They didn't have any empty ones, so he's going to pick this one up, go empty it, and then bring it back. I wish I had time today. I don't know, I might, depending on what time it is. It's about 1 o'clock right now. I don't think I'll have time to fill it today. I got a lot going on, but definitely tomorrow we'll get that filled once again, rip apart another school bus. I'll probably do the next one on a time lapse. The last couple I just did bits and pieces of recording the whole thing. But yeah, the next one I'll probably just do on a time lapse. You've already seen a bus get ripped apart a couple times now. Back to the Model T stuff. What do we got in here? Looks like a couple spare tire carriers. Those will be good. A couple carburetors. Another spare tire piece. I guess what I'll have to do on this is kind of just go through it, and I'll chuck everything I don't want in that car right there to be able to dig out the good stuff that I do want. Bunch of engines. Probably just going to scrap all these. Bunch of front axles. I've got a bunch of those that I saved already, thought somebody would want. I was told they were worth money to guys that make drop axles, but haven't had any interest at all. So I'm just gonna go ahead and scrap all of these. This was a neat piece, but it's just way too far gone to be worth anything, not even good for art. There are a ton of intake manifolds off of Model Ts, but I looked them up on eBay and there's tons and tons and tons and tons of them on there for dirt cheap, so they ain't worth nothing. But I did save the spare tire carriers. That steering wheel is good for art. I thought this was a neat, interesting art piece. A couple carburetors for parts, hubcap for art, and then these here, I'm guessing these are something out of the ignition off the old coils. I thought they were really neat, so I figured, you know, for art or something like that they would sell. And then there was a couple of distributors. These might just be junk, but I was going to look them up to see if they have any value before I throw them in the scrap. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and save both of these. They both turn. This is for a 35 or 36 Chevy. One of these in this condition sells for about 30 bucks plus shipping online, and that's a super simple to list and package item, so I'll go ahead and hang on to it. And then this here, I'm going to hang on to it as well. It still turns. This is for a 49 Pontiac. The only ones I can find online are NOS ones, and they're like 300 bucks for an NOS. So I'm thinking this one here is a core. I'll put it on there for probably, you know, 30 bucks plus shipping once again. I think it'll sell for that. This here, I have no clue what this goes to. It's not marked Ford, so I'm guessing it's probably Chevy, because like I was saying earlier, most of everything he had was either Ford or Chevy. Those there, especially that one there with everything still attached, ought to sell for decent money. That one there is kind of broken a little bit, needs some repair, won't bring as much. But you know, right here in this little pile of stuff, I don't know, just guessing probably about $200 worth of stuff right here. I know there's probably value to some more of this stuff that's in here, or the stuff I threw in that car, but I mean, you can't save it all. When you get as much stuff as I do, sometimes you have to be a little bit picky on what you save. It's sad, but it is what it is. I really don't even have time to mess with this stuff, and so in all honesty, I probably should just leave it all in there and crush it all. But if I crush it all, then I'll feel bad forever, so at least this way I can say I saved something. And here's the next pile of stuff I got to go through. I'm for sure going to save these wheels. The wheels themselves are no good, but they'll work for art. I think there's, what, 4 of those in here. A bunch of starters, generators, electric motors. I'll pull all those out. There's a bunch of these radiator shells right here, so I'll save all those. I think there's a couple carburetors. Yeah, there's a carburetor there. I'll save these for aluminum breakage, these fuel pumps. Might save that heater. That might be something good. And I'll kind of go through the rest of this stuff. Maybe a couple of those radios are worth saving. I see some wrenches down there, so yeah, there's a handful of stuff in here we'll save. Here's my stash, this stuff. Got all the wheels over there. I got this radio here. This radio is really not worth much, but it's easy to package, so I went ahead and saved it. I was looking at this stuff here, and I'm pretty sure this is like early 50s, late 40s, early 50s GM stuff, a lot of this stuff anyway. And I know some of that stuff has pretty good value. I've sold some of these little tiny pieces like that off of those cars, and for 25 to 50 bucks for one little piece. And this here's for a 54 Chevy, so it's brand new in the box. I went ahead and saved it. This is for like a 50 Chevy here or something like that. These are for 49 Chevys, these two radios. Box of wrenches, carburetors. Saved a couple heads that say Ford on them, made in USA. I figured they're good for art. And I thought this fan was really cool. The brass center and the steel blades. I thought that would make really good art. I got all of those, and then I got this right here. It says Western Electric on the top of it. I'm not sure what it is, but I thought it was really neat. So I went ahead and hung on to it. I went ahead and saved the heater. Oh, and this little can. I save all my little cans, and whenever I get enough of them saved up, I put them in a group, sell them on eBay, and then there's another head over there. The rest of this stuff, I'm not going to mess with it. I'm going to go ahead and send it on to the shredder in the sky, or the claw in the sky. I went ahead and saved this transmission as well. That's out of an early 50s Chevy car. Like I say, those era cars, your late 40s through the mid 50s Chevy cars are always good money. Look what I just found. Found a quarter. What year is it? Can't see. 1989, so not that old. And here's some more of the stuff. This is a Chevy frame here. I know this is a Chevy because that's a Chevy engine there. Probably nothing there. Maybe save that fan for art. And there's this little Ford here. It's got the carburetor on it still. It's got a neat head on it. Kind of a short little frame. And it's got some artillery wheels on the back of it. It's just kind of cute. I don't know. What I'll probably wind up doing is just pulling the wheels off and crushing the rest of it. And then here's a couple more frames. I'll check them for serial numbers real quick. And if I don't see serial numbers, I doubt I'll ever find one on that real rusty one there. But more than likely, gonna go in the squeezer. And good, beautiful morning, everybody. It's the next day now. Yesterday, after I left the yard, I had to go by and pay for a bunch of cars. We bought 35 cars from a place, so I had to go pay for those real quick. And then I needed to get all those hubcaps and those Model T parts and everything else out of my truck. And man, it was getting windy and dark, and I thought, man, I'm gonna get drenched. And I looked on the radar, and there was a huge line of storms off to the west headed this way. And you know how much rain we got? Absolutely nothing. It was a gigantic supercell, and it just went just barely to the northwest of town. And to the west of here and to the north of here, got a boatload of rain. And they had high winds, a couple places had tornadoes, but we had absolutely nothing here. Anyway, I'm headed to an eye doctor appointment right now. I have not been to the eye doctor since 2019. My prescription is no longer even close to accurate, and it hurts me to wear glasses. But when I don't wear glasses, everything's fuzzy. So I can't hardly see. I can't read street signs at night. If I go to a restaurant, I can't read the menu unless I hold it up close to my face. So I figured, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and spend the money, get a new prescription, get new glasses. I just got out of there, and my vision did change in my left eye. My right eye is still basically the same. Now I'm out here at the junkyard. I've got to switch shoes. I didn't want to wear my nasty, stinky work boots into their office, so I threw them in the truck and wore my nice shoes. I don't know if you can see that very good on this camera, but I got a little tiny wolf spider crawling on my boot. That's one of the smallest wolf spiders I've seen in a long time. Must be a little tiny juvenile. They're completely harmless. I was looking through the stuff on the back of this car here, and you know what? I don't feel like messing with it. I mean, it's got some fenders, some hoods, just odds and ends stuff, but man, that stuff's hard to sell even if it's in really good condition, and there's a reason why nobody bid on it at the auction. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave it all right where it's at, stick it in the crusher, make a pancake. Here they go, off to the claw in the sky, their final voyage. This just came in a minute ago. This has got some really good furniture pieces on it. A good nose, a good trunk for a couch. So I don't want it to sit out here. It's just going to get tore up. So I think what I'm going to do now while my dad's gone is I'm going to run, get something to eat, grab my trailer, come back and load this up so I can take it home. And then I'll stir up that bus out back. And this bus is done. I got a little bit of a mess to clean up back here, but not as bad as the last one, I don't think. There's stuff kind of strewn around all over the place. And then I was looking at the frame. I'm going to cut it in half with the torch later. But the back tires on this thing are super nice, and really the front tires, this one here anyway, is really nice. That one there is pretty nice. So man, a guy ought to save these tires. Are I think 900 1020s or 900 R20s. Yeah, 900 R20s. I don't know why I called them 1020s, but anyway, I mean, look at that one there. That one's brand spanking new. This bus has been sitting for a few years, but these tires don't really go that bad from sitting unless they're really sitting for a long time. But what I'm going to do now, the day is almost over. I've got just a few minutes left, but I want to try to save the instrument cluster out of this. I didn't see it before I started ripping on it, so hopefully I didn't break it. Looks like I may have tweaked it a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit tweaked, but it's still workable. I should have pulled that out before I started doing all this work, but life goes on. crush it once just like this, and then roll it up on its face and crush it again. That's the advantage of these tall crushers that we got, is being able to do that. You can't do that on the old style crusher that we got rid of. There we go. Just like that. And I'm ready to head out for the day. Here's that Cadillac. Not too bad of a car on the sides. Got a little bit of rust around the bottom edge. The back bumper corners are rusted out like always. But the biggest issue with this car is obviously the glass being gone, but then the floors in this car are just completely toast. I mean, they're gone. For as low of an amount of rust as it has on the sides, I was kind of shocked to see that. And then the engine, because of the hood being like this, has been filled with water and toast. And nobody's gonna fix a Cadillac this rough anyway, so this would make a really good one to put some headlights in it, cut the nose off of it, cut the trunk off of it. The price was right, so I couldn't turn it down, but I don't think I'm gonna have time to unload this tonight, so I'll have to unload it in the morning. My next video, when I come out here, I'm gonna unload that in the morning, unhook my trailer, come out here, and then I'll probably go back there with the torch, cut those buses up, and then I really need to start ripping apart those campers. I really need to get that done, especially the ones up here in the front, because they're really in the way. So as always, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day, and remember to get out there, find an adventure. We'll see you on the next one.